Welcome everyone to My Weight World TV. I'm Dr. Brenda MD. Today we're going to talk about fresh versus frozen foods with Janice Baker, a registered dietitian. Welcome, Janice.
Thank you. It's great to be here today.
Let's talk about fresh versus frozen foods.
Okay.
Can you go into more details about the differences and how freezing it changes the food?
Sure. Well, actually, the thing about frozen foods that is really wonderful is that it's one of the safest, most natural ways to preserve foods. For many foods, you really don't have to add much. You can just freeze them, and it stays fresh, it stays healthy. Of course, it depends on the type of food, how long you're going to freeze it, how it's packed up, how it's frozen. But freezing and having a freezer for convenience foods is really a fantastic way to make sure you're eating healthfully.
So it's not so bad if I'm in a rush and I buy the frozen vegetables?
Not at all, not at all. When we get into things like produce, which is very hard for many people to fit into their diets just for various reasons, that's what I love is that frozen produce, whether it's fruits or vegetables, they're already cleaned, they're already ready to go, they're chopped, they're prepared, they don't go bad in your fridge. In any case, in many ways, they're even more nutritious than fresh, because of the fact that they're preserved already and they're actually frozen right after harvest. Yep. So they're and of course they're convenient. That takes very little effort to prepare, so you have them.
Right. You don't have to nip the ends off of the beans.
Right. So the labor's pretty much all taken care of. The nutritional value is very much the same. Actually, the only differences come in is when you get dishes that include vegetables, but they also include a lot of sauces, cheese sauces, a lot of
wait
seasonings.
A minute, you're getting ahead of me. Let's go through each meal.
Okay.
So now breakfast foods that are frozen.
You can get some great frozen breakfast foods. We traditionally think of waffles and frozen pancakes, and there's a lot of those out there, but now we can find more and more whole grain types of products in this category.
The whole grain waffle.
Whole wheat waffles, pancakes, things like that. So we actually can get some really great breakfast foods that are frozen. And of course, we can get frozen fruits like frozen berries, frozen strawberries, frozen peaches that you can add to your cereals, make smoothies out of, even top your pancakes out of. So again, you've got a great resource for fresh fruits to add to your breakfast right away.
What about any bad frozen breakfast foods?
Well, we can, just like TV dinners, you've got the whole range of things, but if you're getting the frozen breakfast foods, that includes sausage, bacon, hash browns, a lot of cheese, and again, a lot of refined grains, like waffles that are just pretty much made from white flour, you're getting a lot of fat, a lot of calories that, you may not want. So, of course, just like with all the other meals, there's the great products, but then there's the kind that you don't want so much of. The frozen sausage meats and the frozen bacon and other foods like that, also a lot of fat and salt, and the kind of fat that really increases blood cholesterol levels.
Okay. How about lunches?
For lunches, a lot of people think of the healthy lunches as the dinners, just sort of like TV dinners. A lot of them are portion controlled and calorie controlled, and they can be fine. The typical problem with a lot of frozen meals is that they're very deficient in fruits and vegetables. So what I always suggest is if you're going to have one of these lower fat, lower calorie meals for lunch, make sure and have a piece of fresh fruit or another serving of vegetables or salad to go along with it. Of course, there's other things like pizza, taquitos, other foods that are, again, a lot of fat and a lot of salt, and those are the types of frozen foods I wouldn't necessarily recommend at all.
How about those healthy diet ones, the ones?
Right, lean cuisine, healthy choice. Overall, again, those can be nice because of the portion control, and they're convenient, and it's much better than skipping a meal. But pair it up with a piece of fresh fruit, or salad, or some extra frozen vegetables to go along with it.
Okay, and dinner.
For dinner time, again, dinner's a tough, busy time for a lot of people and a lot of families. So frozen food, again, can come in very handy. These days, you can get frozen pizzas that are much healthier than they used to be. Thin crust, light on the cheese, a lot of veggies on them. And those are terrific if you're just in a bind, you don't feel like cooking. So pairing that up with a salad and again, some fresh fruit, that's a wonderful meal. Other dinner foods, you can buy the individual quick frozen portions of meat or chicken or fish. Again, frozen vegetables, the plain kind, not the kind with creamy sauces or the soufflés. And even you can find frozen chopped onions and peppers to use in your own recipes. So again, you don't have all the time spent on cutting, having tears run down your cheeks, from cutting up onions. And it's already there. So again, it saves you time, and time is very valuable.
What if you're, eating the frozen foods, and I bought this example, the frozen fish. So, we're eating fish, so we're eating healthy.
Yeah, well, and again, yes, the fish is healthy, but a lot of times the fish or chicken or other foods that are breaded and they're already fried, but then they say you bake them. But remember, the recipe, how they're prepared, includes a lot of fat and sodium. So typically when something is breaded, there's also a lot of fat and salt added to it. So that's why I typically recommend, if you're buying fish or chicken, have it unbreaded. And that way you'll know you're not getting all the calories from that excess of fat and salt. But also, even the unbreaded portions of fish and chicken often aren't totally 100% pure fish or chicken. Sometimes they have extra salt solutions added to them. So if you're watching your salt intake, you have to read the labels and be aware that these foods, even though they seem like just they're plain fish or chicken, they can actually be higher in salt.
Well, then that brings us to reading nutritional labels.
Absolutely.
Which we'll talk at another segment.
Okay.
But thanks for today, for talking.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us. Please tune in again to My Weight World TV so we can help you reach your goals with our community. I'm Dr. Brenda, MD, and thanks for watching.